Hello, this is Sergio at Smart LED, and I want to show you how you change a brain box. That we have a brain box right there. How do you change the brain box inside of that brain box? Okay, so I'm going to show you guys right now. Basically, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to open. You received your new brain box to swap it out to take out the broken or problematic one that's inside of the Smart LED brain box. Okay, and now you've got the new one here. So you open the box, okay, and then you've got here some things such as the SIM ejection tool, which you can set aside, the return label, because you have to return the broken one that's in there in this same box. Okay, and here's the brain unit, okay. Here we have the antennas, okay, and here we have the power supply and the antenna bases. Okay, the antenna bases, are needed if you don't have the external antenna connection ports in the brain that are right there on that side. Okay, so basically, let me move this over here, okay, and we'll go through this whole process. Okay, so first you have to go to the Smart LED brain box, okay, and you have to, obviously, you're gonna have to open it. So you're gonna open it, okay, and then remove the latch, lift up the door, okay, and here you can see the Smart LED brain. Now, first we have to take out the trouble brain. Okay, so first you just remove the relevant connections, okay? So you've got the LAN connection, the display connection, so you're just gonna unplug these two, okay, and put them aside. You're gonna unscrew this one, it has a screw, so you wanna remove the thumb screw. This is the barrel plug and just pull it straight out. Okay, then you've got two, you may or may not have these, but if you do, you're gonna be just unscrewing these as well. Okay, and if you don't have these connections, then you have to use these antenna bases here. Okay, but we do here, so we're gonna use these. So basically you're gonna unscrew these, okay? You got one and then two right here, okay? So then you gotta unscrew both of them. Okay, and then you're gonna unscrew the sensor, this white cable if you have it, and unscrew this cable here. Okay, make sure you unscrew it fully, okay? This is these gold-plated connections are the antenna cables, okay? So unscrew that one, and finally, you're gonna unscrew the USB right here, okay? Okay, just like that. Now, once you've unscrewed all of those, you can go ahead and bring the new brain unit, set it aside, because there's one more step you have to do, which is remove these two thumb screws, okay? When you remove these two thumb screws, the unit will pop out. Or alternatively, you can remove the 4 base plate screws, which are right here, okay? But I'm gonna work on removing these two. So these are thumb screws. You can also use a Phillips or a flathead. But you should be able to unbolt them, just like what I'm doing right here, okay? So just get them to be loose. And the reason we're loosening them is because we're gonna have to tighten this whole thing back up again, okay? Now for this one, I am gonna need a screwdriver. So let me go ahead and get one of those right now. I think we have one right here. Let me see, right over here. Okay. So basically, I'm gonna use the screwdriver to remove these screws. And again, you can use your thumb or the screwdriver. Okay, and then once you lift them up, you'll see they actually have a pretty long throw. See, then they pop off just like this. See that? These, put them aside. And then let's take off this one. Okay, we took off that one. And then now you can pull this unit straight up. Okay, just like that. It may have some glue, so you may have to move it a little bit. but it should come loose. Okay, so this is the one. There's one step which I'm not gonna do, which is you have to remove these 2 screws here and these 2 screws there, and you have to attach these 2 little wings to this new unit. But anyway, I'm not gonna do that, so you're just gonna make sure you take this out, okay? Put it in the return, take off the two little tabs, and put it aside to be returned, okay? Now this one, once you attach the tabs, which they attach down here, you remove these pads, and then you put the screws in. Then you're gonna set it right here. Okay, you're gonna put the 2 screws, the 2 thumb screws down where they belong, and then you're gonna connect the cables all over again. Okay, so basically, you connect, they're all labeled, so you're basically gonna connect D1 to the top right here, okay? So D1 goes to display, okay? I usually start with a Cat 6. LAN goes to LAN right there. Okay, the power cable goes in the power jack right here. Okay, and you screw it in. Okay, and then now you've got the sensor cable, if you have it. It goes to either of these 2 ports, either one, okay? Okay, and then now this one, you have to be really careful. If you have these cables, the gold-plated terminals, you have to make sure that you're connecting them in the right place. So we have 4G main goes into 4G main right here, just like this. Let me see. Okay. And 4G DIV goes into 4G DIV. Before you connect the DIV cable, or this is Wi-Fi antenna, so this is the 4G DIV is also called 4G SIM. Before you connect the 4G SIM, make sure there's a white card. Make sure that you see a SIM card in there. And if there is, then go ahead and connect it. Okay, and make sure that it's you don't cross thread these. Okay, so then once you connect it and it's all bottomed out, there's one thing I want to tell you about these 2 connectors. If you do not have these external connections right here, then you can go ahead and use these, okay? And so how do you use these? You're just basically gonna put the antennas, because the antennas go over here, okay? So you got 2 in here in the box. You've got 2 cellular antennas. One goes into the 4G SIM, and the other one goes into the 4G main, okay? If you have, but usually you don't just connect them there. You actually connect these. If you don't have these, you connect it straight to the board, straight to these connections right here. But if you do have these, then you connect this to here, and then you connect your cellular antenna. You remove this cap, the yellow cap, and then you connect your cellular antenna to this. So this is the way you do the connections, okay? So you basically have one, and then you connect this here to the 4G main. Okay, and again, if you do not have these, I'm gonna take it off just to show you, then you put it in here, and then you just route the wire. This wire, even though there's weather stripping, this will flex, see? As I push it in, it's totally fine. It's not gonna damage it. So you just run it through here if you don't have these ports, but if you have these ports, then you plug in the 4G main here. Okay, and then that's your 4G main. You undo this and you put the 4G main on one corner of the sign. Okay, and then you do the same with the other available available magnetic, and these have magnets in. It's a magnetic stand. Now the flat duckbill antennas, these are the 4G antennas, okay? And the round antenna, which is included in this little part, this is the Wi-Fi antenna, okay? So you're gonna attach these here, okay? And then this goes to the 4G SIM, which is the secondary antenna, okay? Make sure, and again, make sure you don't cross through, because it is kind of easy to cross these gold connectors. Okay, so then there you go. So we got this goes one to the left and one to the right, okay? And then now the only one that can be attached directly is this one, the round one, which is the Wi-Fi antenna. You can attach it directly on here. And then you can either put it up like this or just leave it down like that. It's up to you. This one doesn't have an antenna base, but the two 4Gs do. They have to go out that way. Okay, and then here, if you don't have those little side clips, there's a set of screws and the two little side ears for you to connect the brain box. Then also you may or may not have received an extra power supply. If your power supply in the brain box doesn't have this special little connector with the little thumb wheel to lock, it's a locking nut on it. If your power supply in there doesn't have this, you may have to replace this whole power supply. So you may have to unstick the power supply and then put this new power pack inside the brain box. Okay, so now once you're done with this and you've connected all the antennas, make sure make sure that you've done all the connections. You see this one we forgot. So this is the Wi-Fi antenna. That one goes right above the sensor, this right above that white one. This is the Wi-Fi antenna. Okay, and then lastly is the USB, and this only goes in one way. So if it's not going in, you may have to turn it around. Okay, and then that's it. That's all there is to it. So then now once you've made all these connections, then you're just gonna look it over one more time. Okay, you've got the LAN, you've got the display, which is D1, and then you've got the LAN right here. You've got your power connection right there, which is all screwed down. And then you've got the 4G main and the 4G main and the 4G SIM, which is the cellular which is the antenna right above the SIM card. And then you've got your sensor if it's equipped, and then you've got your Wi-Fi antenna, and then you've got your USB connection, which goes over to this side port right here, so you can connect a USB externally. Okay, so then now once this is all done, then you can go ahead and close the box. Make sure you've got your antennas, one on each corner of the sign, and then this is pretty much, and then always ship us back the bad unit, with the included FedEx return label that's in here. You just open this and you put the label on the outside of the box. So any other parts that you didn't use, you can ship it back to us, and that's all there is to it. Once you power this on and you've got it set up with one antenna on the left, one antenna on the right, and your backup Wi-Fi antenna, then this thing will go live on the cloud. And this is how you do upgrades of Smart LED's brain box from a standard Wi-Fi box to a cellular box. Or this is also a good technical video for learning how to change the inside brain on any Smart LED sign, both indoor and outdoor display projects. Thanks for watching. If any questions, call us 1-800-762-0796 or email us at support@smartledinc.com. Thanks for watching.